Bring your fingers over to your sternum and breathe, and feel how your sternum moves as you breathe. At the most basic level, what you can feel is that your sternum lifts on the inhale and lowers on the exhale. There's 3 parts to the sternum, and when you know how to picture the movement of the 3 parts, your breath deepens and pain leaves your body. Let's start with the top. The top part, you'll be able to feel in the divot here, is called the manubrium. Manubrium means handle in ancient Latin. So breathe and feel that this part of your sternum moves. Your manubrium, say it with me. Then you go down to the main part of the sternum. It's called the body of the sternum. That's what we think of as the sternum, and feel how that moves as you breathe. And at the very bottom of your sternum is the xiphoid process. And the xiphoid process, you go down, down, down to the apex of the ribs, and it points down. And xiphoid means sword. So it's got a pointed shape, like an upside down tree. And you can feel that your xiphoid moves as you breathe. I'm Krista with The Intelligent Body. This is Ed. Let's go back to the manubrium. In addition to this basic up and down movement, the manubrium has a very precise movement that it's doing. The upper part of the manubrium is moving in, and the lower part of the manubrium is moving out. It looks like this from the side. So put your hands on the manubrium, and what you'll feel is that the lower fingers lift more than your index finger. Breathe and image that. We're using imagery to improve how the body works. So notice what that feels like when you use the image of the lower part of the manubrium lifting on the inhale and lowering on the exhale. And now change it. Change it to that the whole thing just moves up and down together. So it moves up on the inhale, down on the exhale. And what you might notice is that the breath feels a little bit tighter. So then go back to your new image of how the manubrium moves, which is that the lower part of the manubrium moves out on the inhale and it moves in on the exhale. And we have out on the inhale and the upper part going in on the exhale. One more time. Let your hands shake out and feel the effect of that. Go down now to your Xiphyoid process. You can touch on the side of the Xiphyoid process and tune into how does your Xiphyoid process move as you breathe. So the Xiphyoid process, the part that's free and floating, moves out on the inhale and in on the exhale. So touch that on the sides gently and just use that image. You can't make it happen, but you can use the image and help your body remember that it happens if it feels tight there. Be very gentle with your touching. It's imagery, it's not forcing. So we're using the image of the Xiphyoid process flowing out on the inhale and flowing in on the exhale. Do that 2 more times. The Xiphyoid process flows out as you inhale, in as you exhale, and last time. And then we're going to turn it around and imagine that the Xiphyoid process doesn't go out on the inhale, or that it just holds, that it actually goes the opposite. It goes in on the inhale. Let's do that. And feel how, when you do that, your breath is impeded. And the reason we picture the opposite is to help the way the body works get clearer in your mind. So we're imaging right now the Xiphyoid process flowing in on the inhale and out on the exhale, which makes my breath very tight. So I'm going to change it back. Now inhale, Xiphyoid process moves out on the inhale and in on the exhale. Moves out on the inhale, in on the exhale. One more time. Xiphoid process flows out on the inhale, in on the exhale. Let your arms relax and feel the effect of your manubrium and xiphoid process embodiment. Notice if the tension that you had in your shoulders and your ribs has shifted from what we have done so far. Since the body of the sternum is connected to the manubrium and the xiphoid process, which you now know how they move, you will be able to feel how the sternum moves with more detail than when we began. Put your fingers on the body of your sternum, and the upper part of the sternum moves out with the lower part of the manubrium on the inhale, and it moves in on the exhale. Add that image. The upper part of your sternum flows out as it moves up, and then it moves in on the exhale. One more time. See the upper part of your sternum moving out as you inhale and then moving in. And now change it. Change it to where we first began, that it flows, the whole thing moves up and down. And see if you feel a difference. If you feel less breath, if you feel more tension, then you know you're further from the way your body works. And bring back the image of the upper part of the sternum flowing out and flowing in on the exhale. So you have this section. So if this part of the body of the sternum is moving out, then the lower part must be moving in. So bring your fingers to the lower part of your sternum and let's bring in the image that the lower part of the sternum moves slightly in as the xiphoid moves out. And on the exhale, the lower part of the sternum moves out as the xiphoid moves in. Do it again. It's just an image. You're breathing and adding this image to your breathing. One more time. Now we'll change it. Instead of seeing the lower part move in, we'll see the whole thing move as a unit where we began. That it just flows up on the inhale and down on the exhale. And do you have less sense of your breathing? Is your breath more difficult to achieve? And we'll bring back the image. The lower part of the sternum moves in on the inhale and out on the exhale. In on the inhale, out on the exhale. You're ready to put all the pieces together. Touch your manubrium, your sternal body, and down by the xiphoid. On the inhale, the bottom of the manubrium and the top of the sternum go out. The bottom of the sternum and the top of the xiphoid go in as the bottom flows out. And on the exhale, it all reverses. Inhale. Exhale. I'll say it again. Inhale, top of the sternum, bottom of manubrium goes out. On the exhale, they go in. Inhale, bottom of sternum moves in as the top of the xiphoid moves in because the bottom moves out. And then they go in on the exhale last time all together. Feel the change in your breathing. Feel the change in your shoulder and neck tension. Practice this anytime you want to feel better. I have 2 more videos on my channel that'll help you with your rib movement as you breathe. Subscribe to The Intelligent Body for more pain-free movement tips. See you again soon.